Hello, I'm back with yet another card confession. Today's topic is about imperfectly perfect love. You're probably thinking, what the heck does that even mean? Glad you asked. So, I was thinking about this the other day and it occurred to me, pretty obvious, but it still occurred to me that we are, each and every one of us, imperfect beings, right? The obvious. No one is perfect. We all have our shortcomings. We all have sinned. So we're imperfect, right? However, we are called to perfectly love another imperfect being. Hence the title, Imperfectly Perfect Love. So I was thinking about this in the regards of myself, me being imperfect, and how I get frustrated with others, and how my patience with others grows thin, just based off of them being imperfect sometimes. And I had to check myself because I am imperfect as well. And the same imperfect being expects perfect love. I'm talking about that 1 Corinthians 13 type love, where it's patient, it's kind, it doesn't keep record of wrong, it's long suffering. That's the type of love that I desire from others. So I have to be willing to give that to others, right? Even though they're imperfect, because my sins, my shortcomings are no less significant than theirs, and vice versa. So at the end of the day, I want to challenge you all to do a self-examination. That's something that my dad is really, really big on, self-examination. And while you're examining yourself and taking a inventory of the things that you do that fall in that imperfect category, think about how people love you in spite of those things. And that same love that you receive in spite of being imperfect, once you look at that list, whatever that list may entail, realize that just as you are deserving of love in your imperfect state, so are others. They're so worthy of your love in spite of being imperfect. God did not ask us to be perfect. He asked us to strive towards perfection, something that will forever escape us, truth be told. It's like this, it's like a never-ending chase, so to speak, which can sound discouraging, but your growth over the process of that time, it will be such a beautiful thing. Like when you could look back at your own life. This is why it's important to do self-examinations, so that you could see areas where you've grown, because growth is just as exciting as reaching the goal. We have to come to a place, and I'm definitely pulling from Dr.EricThomas when I say this, where we fall in love with the process. We're so big on receiving the medal or the trophy that we look at the process with disdain, and I don't think that that should be the case. I am of the same mentality now, I wasn't always like this, as Dr. EricThomas. We need to fall in love with the process, because when we fall in love with the process of every other aspect of life, then this process of becoming more perfect, more like Christ, we'll fall in love with it too, although we will never reach perfection. So I ask you guys to do a self-examination, and as you're doing that self-examination, think of how you could love those who are imperfect around you, just like you, better. How can you love them better? How can you show them that you love them better? That might be figuring out what their love language is. There are, I believe, 5 different love languages. There is, and you could do a study on this. There is words of affirmation, there is touch, there is gifts, there is acts of service, and there is, there's one more that's escaping me this moment. Quality time. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's like one of my faves. But anyways, so figuring out someone's love language and then loving them in that way. That's a way that you could love someone better. Regardless to how they measure up to the measuring stick that you've created for them, you know? Like, they're not perfect. Give grace, because grace is given to you, and then figure out how you could just love others better, even in their imperfect state. Love you guys on purpose, and I am signing off. Sincerely, RW. Peace.